iffy on it for the start it's going to have.
I agree. I agree. We'll see as we jump into game number 1 here of the day. It is All-Stars versus Sustancia X. Now, both these teams fighting for their lives. It's an elimination series. One of these teams will advance in this lower bracket. The other one, well, that brings their TI hopes to an end. Anything interesting about these hero facets?
Chainmail. Nah, not a very good
chainmail,
game.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Everything looks about the same. What we'd expect. Bear down seems to be the common one for the Ursa.
30 seconds to battle.
I've seen some people try the other facet, and I think it was good. It had a moment when the Octarine Aghanim Scepter build was more viable on the Ursa, but it's like you're playing for like a 50-minute timing at that point, which just doesn't work in Dota anymore. So I like this one quite a bit more.
I think when they have more uncontrollable damage too, it's a little bit better, which I suppose Exorcism's actually not too bad for that, but yeah, maybe in the future if Bear Down gets nerfed a little bit more. The debuffs lasting longer is just so useful for Ursa, who's a very...
It's everything. It's not just Fury Swipes.
Yeah, it's like the slows, the items he buys, and for a carry who his biggest issue is like you don't get enough done during your BKB and rage timing, right? To maximize like what you can do in that time is usually the way to go. Right, getting into the lanes. Mid, Benjimon will have to be a little careful of getting run down while silenced from the Death Prophet. Now that won't happen for a couple levels, but it is something to be worried about around that potential of like level 4 if Faker wants to hold on to a skill point, save the silence, see if he has a window there. Until you have level 6 on the Storm, and then you can start dodging some of that stuff, or you can't be completely run down since like you'll take some damage while silence, but eventually you'll zip out of there. But we do see Death Prophet having a good time to start at least, just because she is... I'd say she's a bit of a stronger laner than Storm, but he'll have better jungle potential to catch up later.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an issue in the lane for DP. Just Crypt Form spam is quite good. You have the Spirit Siphons as well that you can just use on creeps if you want. So if you're the Storm Spirit here, you just... Yeah, it's like you're just gonna have to be very careful. The level 3 timing is what you're playing for, because the second point in Crypt Swarm is insanely strong. Okay, Faker is taking a lot of tower damage here as he actually doesn't have a bottle queued up. It is just a ring or a null talisman, so he is gonna have a lot less health to play around, but he needs to get to that water rune. Hopefully, if he is lucky, he gets both.
Pushing the wave, and the bottle's not here for the Storm yet either, so...
Oh, these that is... Yeah.
Mid laners, man.
Woo!
I do not have the guts to push it that far. I am backing well before that.
Top lane, a lot of fighting here, trying to get this Ancient Apparition. The attack slows. It's not enough to keep him alive, and the first blood will go to BSK. I can never say that name without immediately thinking of Mr. Banana Man. And Tiburon now in trouble. Potentially a kill. Ice Shards in 1. I mean, this is just going to be 2 kills. Tag team pop. Does he get the... Hold up. Almost bailed out from the Ancient Apparition.
Kunkka couldn't get in there because of the tree path blocking him in. But, I mean, in the end, you still get 2 kills for the price of the Tusk, which is a pretty big win overall. The Banana Man would be proud of that off-lane performance there.
So we've got a rotation to the mid lane here on the Clockwork. Now, because Storm Spirit got the bottle and a water rune, it completely reset his lane, and now Death Prophet's going to be asking for help because she doesn't have the amount of sustain anymore, right? Like, the Storm Spirit will be able to just kind of farm back into equilibrium with him and even apply some extra damage.
I also think it's a good idea to pressure the Storm because we talked about needing catch, and Sustancia, although we are not sure about the Tiny, they have Clockwork, they have Mars, so they have a lot of options. Whereas for All-Stars, Kunga's not really the best initiator. I mean, you just have to like X someone and then do the combo, which is a little bit slow. Tusk with a blink, that's a while away. So it's really on this Storm in the early game to start fights for your team. And if he has a slow 6 because Clockwork is camping him, stealing all the runes, then like you just can't really make plays to make space for the Ursa. But Kunkka is, you know, with those kills off to a decent start, so maybe he will be able to be somewhat of an initiator to begin.
Yeah. Clockwork did end up coming back to the mid lane to secure the bottom water rune, so no refills for Storm Spirit. He does get a Tango from the Tusk, but he needs a lot of help. There's going to be the raindrops finally picked up for him. That's going to basically give him like almost 1,000 extra health with a dive in the mid lane here. With the Clockwork, if he gets one more cog, it would be a kill. It doesn't connect.
No, it hit
not connect.
It hit a range. It either hit a range creep earlier or it already hit the Storm. But he knocked a cog that had already been used.
Okay. That's why I was confused. I was like, it looked like it went right through him, but yeah, I didn't see if it hit a creep or something.
Yeah,
so very fortunate there for the Storm.
For Clockwork there. They are putting the pressure on though. He put a word where Storm wants to jungle, but All-Stars actually also expects this kind of pressure. So earlier had a ward spotting Clockwork rotation, so they knew it got placed. Even de-wards it already. I think Clockwork should have seen him place it because that observer was there, so they might get de-warded too later.
Yeah, he'll go for it. Top lane, they managed to find a kill against the Tusk, so Avalanche, a very strong spell combined with the amplification from Ice Vortex. It's one of the few lanes we see get paired with Ancient Apparition that does well, because AA is a relatively weak laner, and there's not a lot of carries that offer a ton of magic damage, right, into the lane. But one of the few exceptions is the Tiny. Right side of this lane, though, they're going to find Pamplona as he pops that battery assault, trying to get away from the Tusk here. It might allow him to. Blood Grenade is out, and he's okay.
Out. That's crazy.
Meanwhile, Faker, well, he runs down 999 on the Oracle, and this Storm Spirit's completely out of mana. He could just run at him, and he's thinking about it. He's got a creep wave in front. We'll be able to get away for the moment as that Exorcism expires. But tag team with an illusion rune. Hoggies traps him inside the shards. Benjamin is he gonna get the last hit? He does. Baker gets the kill, sacrifices himself in the process, but a worthwhile play from Sustancia in the mid lane, I think.
Can't believe that last auto attack killed the Storm. That must have been a high roll on damage. That looked like that looked a bit high. I guess Death Prof has more damage than I remember. 94 damage right now. Crazy, actually. I forgot she became a universal hero. Right.
I mean, look at his items too, right? Doesn't have a bottle, magic wand, staff, null talisman, treads, right? So it's just a lot of stats, a lot of early stats.
He's loaded up. Baker drops a heart. I guess he's happy with how that play turned out.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Clockwork, all your camping mid has paid off. That was excellent.
And we'll see how well that ends up working for the Clockwork eventually, because he is very low level compared to all of the other supports. And Wisdom Shrines have already been captured, and he is still level 4. Or not even level 4, about to be level 4.
Fortunately, Clockwork is a hero who can, even without hookshot, you actually can get a good amount done with just your regular abilities. Part of the strength of expanded armature. And you have other initiators on your team. If he was the only one, you would be in a bad spot for having him roam this much. But he maybe can't make plays because he's underleveled. But the fact that you're putting so much pressure on Storm is going to struggle to make plays. And that payoff is kind of what they were going for and why he's committed so much to that mid lane. And we see it paying off so far. I mean, if you look at the net worths, right? Death Prophet at the top, Storm at the bottom of the cores. 2,800 there. I think he just cleared up some stuff, but not a great spot right now.
A lot spent on regen, right? Between having to buy raindrops for his lane and then still dying, having to invest like into, I think he had to buy an extra.
Storm at the bottom of the cores. 2,800 there. I think he just cleared up some stuff, but not a great spot right now.
A lot spent on regen, right? Between having to buy raindrops for his lane and then still dying, having to invest like into, I think he had to buy an extra set of tangos even at one point, or maybe he just bought extra branches, I'm not sure. But also clarities, like a lot of his net worth has been spent on trying to survive.
That said though, really early tower for All-Stars. Top lane, that Kunkka lane. We thought it would look good. I'd say this may be even better than expected. 1,000 gold over the Tiny, and you take the tower before a Death Prophet can take a tower. That's not the way you'd expect that to go.
It's the way I expected it to go. I thought there was zero shot this Tiny gets to play this lane. And here's the thing, we haven't really even seen an X-Boat combo. If this Kunkka wants to fight, he can. But like for now, he's just back to Fightbringer. He's got himself a Blade Mail nearly completed. And he is gonna just stay at the top of the net worth. I don't think anyone's gonna catch him. Like there's not, like the only hero that could catch him would be the Battle Fury Ursa eventually. But no one's gonna really out-farm the Kunkka once he gets closer to his Radiance. Assuming he goes Radiance. If he doesn't go Radiance, then, you know, totally different. Fight out at the bottom lane. Arena Spear, Ice Blast. It does connect, but it misses the Storm. He gets out just barely thanks to a haste room. But here comes the rest of Sustancia as they will chase down this Kunkka. Blade Mail is going to be popped. Pretty tanky hero here thanks to the run buff. He will survive. They need to get this mid tower.
Be able
you can't pop a second EXO and not get a tower, right?
Sure, hope not for their sake. Yeah, I don't think you can stop this at this point after Kunkka had to go back. I mean, one more fortify. I guess if you don't get it now, it's low enough that someone will get it just off a random creep wave, but it does get health again, I guess.
I mean, it's a really good creep drag from the Storm. Using that haste rune, just pulls the catapult wave all the way into his triangle. That's kind of sick.
How's Ursa doing? It's Battle Fury. About 1,000 gold off. Not too bad. Especially if they can fight down here. They're going to lose the tower, but the X is on.
They off the mark with that spear, and that should be a very easy, well, I say easy kill to clean up if they decide to go for it. He's going to have a spear out here in a moment. Might be able to make enough space to TP out. There is no way you back on that. And now, well, your Storm Spirit is in some trouble. He might have some stick charges to play with, but here comes a boat. He gets the Spirit Siphon. It's almost enough to kill him. But Ice Blast, that will be enough. Faker here will get chewed through by the Ursa. Surely they don't let him get away. Not making that mistake twice. They get the big kill, at least, on the Death Prophet, but I mean, that should have been a Mars as well. Unfortunate there for All-Stars.
Yeah, that's one of those times where the high-level play is to look for more, right? It's not 3 cores of like, oh, that guy's 100 health. Let's all throw spells at him, right? You min-max of like, okay, one more attack and the rest of us go for more kills. But sometimes you do the math a little bit wrong and you lose a kill you're not supposed to. So, yeah, a bit of a pain to lose the Mars, especially when you didn't even protect your tier 1. So you lost the tier 1, you get Death Prophet, but lose Storm and Tusk, right? And you rotated to defend that, so.
They definitely, that was a case in which like everyone thought the other person was gonna finish the job, right? Like Storm Spirit's like, Ursa, you got this, and Ursa's like, Storm Spirit, you got this, and then the Kunkka's like, you guys got this. Like,
this is the rare case where all the core players are not trying to kill steal each other.
Yeah.
Like, no, please, after you need to finish your battlefield. No, you gotta finish your Kaya Storm. I know, like they're being too nice to each other. Well, the Battle Fury is still finished at least.
Good time.
Yeah, he should be able to at least keep up with his Tiny. We'll see how the fights go. Tiny has his Echo Saber, and the Shard is queued up. The Shard will be a little late, so I think Ursa will be able to build a small lead if it just ends up farming. But eventually they both farm at similar paces, and it comes down to the teams finding plays to make space. Ooh, regen rune for Storm, that's a very good one. Especially in combination with False Promise. As long as you've saved that Storm, he's 100% coming back full health.
We're closing in on the Aghanim Scepter for Faker here. He rushed the Kaya and is going back for the Ags. He had what was originally the Aghanim Scepter queued up, similar to what we saw yesterday from Analog, just straight Aghanim Scepter. He had that Staff of Wizardry and then decided to finish the Kaya instead. Now, I don't think that's a bad idea. It does slow down the Axe timing a little bit, but with the game he's having, I would like to see him just commit to finishing it. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. So the rest of the team, they're going to smoke top, find themselves a kill onto the Tusk. And the Death Prophet just a few hundred gold away.
Trying to push this top tower, full health. Last patch, you would definitely do this. This time it would have worked out really well to go straight for the Tormentor after, but now you got a little bit more time since Tormentor spawns in 20 minutes, and it seems like they're just gonna wait for the Aghanims on the Death Prophet. It is a big power spike. She also has 7 spirits saved up, so the next exorcism is gonna be pretty strong.
Yeah, we did some research on that one yesterday. I know we were confused, like what happens if you have more spirits collected than you have total spirits. It just consumes all of them regardless. So if you have like 20 spirits saved up, but you can only summon 10, it'll just consume all 20 of your spirits, which is a little bit of a weird one. Maybe the facet would be too strong, you know, otherwise.
I think the issue, although it's like, oh, you have 13 instead of 10, that part's not a problem. But I think Valve foresaw that someone is going to save spirits the entire game for the strongest 50-minute exorcism where you have 90 spirits and you just go through backdoor. And they foresaw that and they're like, no, just limit it to whatever it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah.
Make them use exorcism sooner. Don't save that many spirits.
See, I thought that like it would at least like carry over the ones that aren't being used, right? Like of the souls that you collect that don't make it into the exorcism, like if you, because you can only summon 10 off the first exo, so you have like 13. My thought initially was that 3 of them would carry over to the next exo, but that's not the case. It just consumes all of them. So you're only going to get the 10 regardless, but you also just lose your additional ones that you saved up. So there's really no reason to hold it anymore. As we were theory crafting, like, could you do some fun stuff with it? But turns out, nope.
I mean, I think, yeah, there are some cases where in the early game you might lose out if you save more than 10, which is honestly a lot to be saving anyways. And then once you have your level 2 ult, it goes to 17 total spirits and then 24 at max. So it's extremely rare that you're ever going to save up that many spirits unless you're just not using your ult, which is going to be bad.
Yeah. Man, that smoke ink was so close. They were like 3 seconds away from running into Tiny and Death Prophet in the triangle, but just a moment too late, and well, that is time for Sustancia to get to that item, which is that Aghanim Scepter for the Death Prophet. Online, ready to go. Kaya Sanj will be done on the Storm Spirit now, so a little bit of a tankier build here, which isn't surprising. I don't think they have a ton of lockdown for him, but if he can survive like an initial burst for the Oracle to like bail him out, I think it's gonna be a good game eventually for him.
Both teams positioning top. This is a case where you've got the Ursa who can do Roche early, but you also have the Death Prophet popping Exorcism, allowing you to get Roche on. So can't back away from this area unless the other team does so as well. We're seeing a couple observer wards committed from ALLSTARS to keep track of this. See if Sustancia X can make their way over to do the same. Actually dig back out of the area. I feel like ALLSTARS knows they can just walk into Roche. I think they want this mid tower first to prevent any rotations coming in. Not sure about that torrent, but just a show of power.
It's just, hey, in case you guys forgot, we got torrents here.
Playing it safe. Here comes the Mars. Ooh. Still got the Kunkka in here, but
there's just nobody else here, though. Very afraid after they lost the initiation, and they're gonna go in now. Ice Blast will hit 3 of these heroes, and with Baker finding the backline, a huge Avatos hit from the Tiny as well. Storm Spirit should be fine. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. They won't find that Ursa either, but they will find the big Roshan in the river. Well, no, they're not, because he's about to move to the other side of the map, and there is now no more time.
We'll call that a bait, the spear into arena, because
no
that actually...
way he gets that bottle.
Wow. Because, hook shot. Oh, it's still down. Because ALLSTARS saw the arena not really get much done. They're like, yeah, we can now dive. It's really scary to dive into arena because you get trapped under tower. But with it being down, they go for the dive, and the Tiny Shadow Blade just finished, so he sneaks his way to the back, finds the Oracle, preventing any form of save, take those heroes out, and win the fight from there. So, intentional bait, I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Snowball. Gonna give Tusk a little bit of space, but a hook shot coming in. Ice Blast as well. The Ice Blast on to 3. The toss, the avalanche, everything doing so much work. The Oracle's ult like went off at the same time that he shattered. Did you see that?
No, I don't think I did.
He ulted the storm the same frame the storm shattered.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
Can we get a replay? I don't know if it's possible. I'm wondering if we can. I'm pretty sure Oracle ulted the storm, and the same frame the ult hit him, he shattered from Ice Blast. Otherwise, he would have lived.
Interesting. I wonder if there's a delay between the spell being activated, because it is on cooldown, and then the spell actually taking effect, and in that like frame difference, the shatter completed.
Oh, we do. Okay. Try to find it. I think that's what I saw.
Pretty big Ice Blast regardless. Even if he had been saved, you're still winning this fight, landing it on 3 heroes.
See? It did hit him. He did get false promise. He just died the second it hit him.
Yeah, and to be clear, the reason that's so crazy is because Oracle and Ancient Apparition usually have a like some counterplay to each other, where Ice Blast obviously prevents the healing, but if you're already affected by False Promise, you can't take damage from the Ice Blast until it ends. So if you're actually Oracle ulted while Ice Blasted, but Ice Blast ends first, then you'll heal at the end of False Promise like you're supposed to, even though you were affected by Ice Blast. You're not supposed to be able to die during False Promise, though, outside of being executed by Axe. So that is... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we go through like the combat log, there's some like second difference, or like 0.1 second of a difference on the spellcast versus shattering.
Wow, that's wild. That was not what I expected. Really good stuff there. Again, from Sustancia, just pushing a massive advantage now at 8,000. The Death Prophet Tiny really starting to feel themselves in these games, but also just kind of off the back of I think, the third or fourth 3-hero Ice Blast this game.
Looking for another one on the Storm in the bottom lane.
Ooh, they got him in top lane. It's a solo kill from Tiburon. He takes down the Tusk.
All right, Sustancia X is finding their momentum. We've seen Ancient Apparitions fall flat when you can't find these plays. And the start was actually a little bit slow. When he first hit 6, there wasn't a ton of plays being made. But as they have finished some of their bigger items and they start to get going, I mean, he's 2-1-10 on that Ancient Apparition. He's getting very involved, helping to close out some of these kills, not just the big team fights, but the quick pickoffs onto Storm Spirit, which we weren't sure if they'd have the lockdown for, but when you can finish the burst that quickly, thanks to the Ancient Apparition, the spear, and like a hook shot, that is all you need.
And now they will see themselves into the Roche Pit, made very easy with the Death Prophet's Aghanim Scepter. A lot of bonus damage coming in from that. It's not the fastest Roche, but they will get it without even having to pop the Exorcism, which is the big thing.
By the way, now that we're seeing more Death Prophet, I do like that her innate became her old ability, and we get...
Yeah, Sadist or whatever. No,
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft, yeah.
Yeah, and we get the random, like, her ability cooldowns are always like these random fractions and decimals now because of it. It's like, oh yeah, of course, I've got 3.72, cooldown reduction, so I have like get this random cooldown time.
It's always fun looking at the ult, 129.8 seconds. Hook shot in. They find the Oracle into the silence. Oh, he's in so much trouble. Great find from Pamplona.
I like that not Oracle, Clockwork, he's building an Aghanims. So not only are you naturally equipped to find the backline, but when you have that Rocket Flare spam, you're going to be able to scout it out for yourself and your whole team to find out, here's the Tusk, here's the Oracle, go take them out. Or they're out of position, so we can focus the main guy that we wanted to anyways. I think it's a great item choice this game. Still needs 1,000 gold for it, but he's pretty rich the way the game's going. 26 minutes and already an 11k lead for Sustancia X off of, I want to say, like 4 winning team fights in a row now.
Yeah.
It feels like they haven't lost a fight since...
It was like
original
5 or 6 minutes
fight?
ago. Yeah, it was the mid lane fight, I think. Oh my gosh. Does he get the solo? No, okay. Storm's still a little bit too tanky for the solo kill, but...
Fortunately,
not a good sign.
Ronnie.
The Storm Spirits game has been really rough.
Yeah, which is part of Sustancia X's game plan. Good identification from them, saying he's going to be a key part of the draft from ALLSTARS. So Clockwork dedicated a lot of attention to the mid lane. I think they even knew it too, so they put some observers to scout these Clockwork rotations, but it just wasn't quite enough. He was willing to commit early smokes, things like that, to really put the pressure on the Storm. And it's paid off all the way till now in this mid game. Storm still at the bottom of the net worth, hasn't really been able to find much this game. You might have saves, but if your cores aren't, not to put it in a mean way, but if they aren't worth saving, then the save heroes don't really pay off. And it can all kind of backfire.
Ooh, Shadow Blade on the Tiny, looking for potentially Dynamo on the Ursa. Avalanche toss, Ice Blast will connect. They know with the Enrage they don't have the damage, but they do get the Enrage out of the Ursa.
Ursa needs to stay alive in these cases. With Storm having such a rough game, and Kunkka, we have seen the more damage-oriented Kunkkas. Yesterday we saw 2 Divine Rapiers on Whisper. This is the typical utility Kunkka. He went Blade Mail Pipe, he got an Aghanims, he's for the team fight. So a lot of your damage has to come from Ursa. Oh, okay, he actually gets out. Woo. Would have been bad to die again.
Ice Blast? Is it up?
Already used earlier on the...
Okay. It was
he doesn't know, though. He's not sure at the time.
He's like, it might be up, dude. It's close. All right, yeah, he bottles up, dodges out. He'll be fine.
Good awareness. This is where you type in all chats like, I'm totally ice blasting you right now. You better be careful.
I must have them all. What have we here?
Oracle went Blink Dagger. I like that. We talked about the heroes who can find you in the back line, but also the Mars ult potentially preventing you from even seeing your target. So this will allow Oracle to stay really far in the back, and in the worst cases, even jump into the arena to save the target at the last moment possible. Hopefully not literally the last moment and then they shatter from Ice Blast in a weird way again, but, you know, just a moment before that.
Well, you now have an Aghanim Scepter on the Clockwork, so it's going to be even easier now to try and scout out the side of All-Stars with the flare spam. I think they're definitely capable of just going high ground. Like, you have 43 seconds left on this Aegis. You have the Exorcism. There we go. It's like, I think you just have to do it as the army of heroes, almost all of them being from All-Stars, are going to just betray their own high ground. I see a Clockwork in there, but that's it.
I like Death Prophet ult as a way to know who to flame in the game. Like, when you see you have like 5 of your own support spirits, you're like, dude, why are you feeding so much? I have 5 of your spirits in my ultimate. They don't actually take a tower. They get like 2 towers down to half. We'll call that a successful hold for now. The Aegis is going to expire. I think you take that as All-Stars in this case.
Radiant are scanning.
I believe the BKB is done on the Tiny now. Yeah, there it is. So he's now ready to commit further in. He wanted to play it a little safe before then. We'll find an Ancient Apparition kickoff.
Ooh, that's a pretty good start to the fight. The question is, can they find more? There's no exorcism up. We saw it just used a moment ago. Ursa gonna try and just rip right through Pamplona here on this Clockwork, and he's done it. Tail end of the BKB doing a lot of work here in the arena. Is gonna expire his Faker. Well, he's gonna try and turn his attention just towards the Oracle. Clean this one up. Honestly, it's a really rough fight here for Sustancia. They might just lose everybody. That's gonna be the 3rd death. The Buron not strong enough on his Tiny. At this point, the BKB expires. Tidal Wave's gonna pull back the Mars. He will BKB and TP home, but a big fight win from All-Stars, finding the clutch hero of the Ancient Apparition to start this one off.
That's such an insane fight to find. Yeah, getting the Ancient Apparition, who adds a lot of the burst potential. He's an amplifier, you know, so you take him out, you actually reduce the damage from the entire team. And then Oracle living through that, getting the ultimate on himself, heals up, stays away. So a lot of the damage that Sustancia X was doing was kind of wasted if you think about it, like trying to kill the Oracle and not even succeeding. So that just frees up Ursa to go target to target, cleaning things up. Eventually dies, but I'd say well worth it for his team.
We're gonna see potential find onto the Oracle here. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Nice little grab there from the Clockwork.
Dire's bottom tower.
If you can find one more fight like that on All-Stars, you're totally back. I mean, things were looking pretty grim. I really didn't think they'd be able to find a fight like that 1 for 4. But that cuts down the gold lead so much, and just one more fight like that, you'll still technically be behind like 5K, but that doesn't mean much at 30 minutes into the game.
Smoked up here onto the high ground. Hook shot off the mark with the storm, but they actually get onto the backside. They get the Mars right away. And Death Prophet vortex up, stunned with the boat and killed by the Ursa. Ancient Apparition will be next. Sustancia, your lead is gone. All-Stars now in full control of this game.
Dude, All-Stars
They
is
get
so
themselves
back.
another 4 heroes.
They're so back.
I think they're the better scaling team. I think Sustancia completely blundered that Aegis. Like, they needed to get a lane of racks with it, and now you will never win a late game fight against this Ursa. Like, especially with this Storm Spirit that you have no lockdown for.
I think they can, but a lot of their earlier fights were off of finding the backline supports first, or just having the damage to kill the Oracle and the Ursa before the saves come in. But yeah, the nerfs are coming into play, right? Like, Tiny's damage is not as good as it used to be. Ancient Apparition's damage, not as good as it used to be. Are they gonna find a Tiny?
Speaking of Tiny, he's trying to get the TP out, but
Oh, bad.
no, he's just dead. He tried to make a play onto the Oracle, but there was a sentry in place to bait him. He's dead for 75 seconds without buyback. They will take themselves the Tormentor. Oracle, you don't need to be here. You're gonna hurt yourself quite a bit.
First Tormentor, did I miss there?
Oh boy, now the Reign of Destiny, which that ability's been nerfed, I think, like 3 patches in a row.
Still pretty good, I gotta say.
Still pretty good, yeah. 15%
pretty
heal amp
good.
is real strong. They
Maybe
only
not as
reduced
good
the
into
heal
Ice
per
Blast.
second.
Yeah, maybe not as good into an Ice Blast, but in general, a pretty strong ability for any given fight. Especially when you have Kunkka, the ghost ship, keeping you alive, and then you get to heal up through that during that time is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Also good
I mean,
in
it
Roche
works
fights.
great with False Promise, right? So even if your hero gets like hit by Ice Blast and all this stuff, like if they're in Reign of Destiny, they're getting still a lot of healing potentially from it.
The math is going your way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we are now 16-20 and a gold lead, I think for the first time this entire game, going the way of ALLSTARS. They were down 15,000 gold at 29 minutes. 6 minutes later, they are ahead.
Go back. I think Sustancia
I mean,
X still has a shot, but you
Radiant are scanning.
have to take control of how the fights are going again. Like, these last couple cases are ALLSTARS, finding Ancient Apparition, finding Death Prophet right away. You need to be the one finding these fights. And you have the tools. You have Ice Vortex, you have Aghanim's Rocket Flare, right? You should be able to scout out ALLSTARS to find out what fights to take or to avoid. Though the issue might be forced, as both teams should know Roche is up right now.
I mean, if you can get another Ice Blast initiation, like a 2-hero Ice Blast inside of the arena, you can probably take the fight, but your Death Prophet needs to be able to get an Exorcism and actually do some damage. And right now, a BKB is currently on the courier, ready to be delivered. Ursa's just going to keep hitting this Ice. I hear a hook shot. I don't know where he went, but they actually just managed to find the Tiny on the backside. He's just getting completely controlled off. Will finally have to BKB as Pamplona looking to get an opening here. In comes the Death Prophet. Walrus Punch to make some space. And Oracle, well, he's out completely. The Ursa in the Roach Pit trying to finish his finger. Goes in with the BKB. Wants to try and punish him for this play. He will TP to safety. Kunkka might not be as lucky in this fight. Not looking too bad here for ALLSTARS, but they don't even manage to get the kill onto the Kunkka. And now Storm Spirit getting the job done. Takes down the Clockwork, looking for the Ancient Apparition. It's gonna be close. So False Promise expires. Tusk stuck inside the arena. One support for each team is down. But who wins this extended fight with Exorcism being down, the Ursa coming back? I think you gotta leave if you're Sustancia. Especially the Storm Spirit, he's still alive. He finds the Ancient Apparition, trying to get the kill. The Parasma should take him down. It will buy back on the AA.
Trying to snipe the Roche real quick.
Fading into the pit. In comes the Storm. There's the Vortex. The Tidal pushes them out! Oh no! There's the Aegis into the hands of the Storm, and Faker with this Parasma damage. I don't know if he's making it out. Even the boat to the high ground to secure this one. And this Ancient Apparition, he bought back. The Torrent will connect and quick X. What a disaster for Sustancia.
Hey, I like the idea to try to grab Roche at the very last second there. I think that is the best they can do because they are a cooldown dependent team, and when you don't manage to find any kills except I think a Tusk at the very end and all your abilities are down, you have to just back. At that point you're gonna lose Roche, but you know it's low, so they run in trying to get it. But that's where the Kunkka crowd control comes in play. Torrent into Tidal Wave out of the Roche pit. They did leave the banner in all of that, so someone's gonna have to go back for that. But either way, a pretty big win for ALLSTARS. Even getting a buyback and then dieback from the Ancient Apparition gonna lead to a tier 2. You could chip top tower if you wanted, but I don't think you can actually finish the job here. So maybe just back out.
Yet. Yeah, they're so close to finishing some big items. Like the Kunkka's almost to his Shiva's. Your Storm Spirit just got his level 25, so he needs to get his shard if he doesn't have it already. Oh, he does have it. Okay, he bought it immediately. He actually has a Moon Shard queued up.
Nice. What a comeback
I mean, there's
story
just no
for...
stopping the Storm anymore.
Yeah, what a comeback story for him, right? I mean, go back to like 2 minutes in the game, Clockwork smoked up, like watching him mid lane, making his life miserable. He was bottom net worth of the course. Now, just about top, barely behind the Ursa.
Tower has fallen.
I mean, this Shiva's is gonna do so much work as well. It just reduces so much healing that this Death Prophet is gonna get. They're gonna look at a big fight. Blink with Spear out onto the Kunkka. They get the initial grab. No BKB or Pipe comes out. He does get the Pipe in the last second. Now the Death Prophet looking to chase for more up onto the high ground. Yeah, Storm Spirit finds the kill onto the Ancient Apparition. Will zip to safety. And Faker, well, he committed his exorcism for this. It's a nice grab. You get the Kunkka, but you will not have Exo.
Stupendous.
I feel like we've wrapped back around. Early game, Sustancia X had enough lockdown to quickly finish kills, especially with Ice Blast. But now that we've made it later and the saves are easier for ALLSTARS, you got the Blink 4-Staff, Aether Lens on Oracle. Tusk has the same mobility, right? Multiple saves allows you to get to targets like the Death Prophet, since Storm naturally has the zip, Ursa's got the blink, right? All the mobility is come online, so when you see Exorcism, when you see Arena, you just dodge for a while, and then once those are down, you have a free fight.
They're so dead. Like, I don't know how they get away from the Storm Spirit. Pharasma just does so much damage. He's got an Aegis, he does not care. It does connect, and Ursa not willing to chase for more, but does have a Nullifier completed coming soon. And so does the Storm Spirit. 2 Nullifiers done at the same time for these guys. I like the Nullifier quite a bit more than the Moon Shard, I'll be honest.
I'd say it's rare to need 2 Nullifiers, but in this case, Aeon Disc has actually made a comeback. Don't see this item all that often, but Mars has one, Clockwork has one. They both have Yules as well. The Solar Crest giving the barrier, Yules on Death Prophet. So actually quite a few things to remove with that Nullifier, making it a pretty value purchase on a hero like Storm.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's bottom tower.
Got a little longer on this Aegis. Looks like they want to try to at least take this bottom tier 2, see where it goes from there. I'd say if you're Sustancia X, you just give it up. Don't fight into this Aegis when it's so close to expiring.
Yeah, 25 seconds left. There's no reason. The thing is, the Ursa now with his level 25 will just select a hero and remove them from the game, right? So this is going to be very scary. Storm Spirit going up onto the high ground with the X, looking to scout out, knowing he has a few seconds left on the Aegis, can blow all of his mana. Also up to 17 Galvanized stacks, too. After, like what you said, a really rough start to the game, he has now got tons of regen to work with.
Yeah, if you asked me if he would ever make it to 17, I would have told you no way. But here he is, looking to go even higher. He's got a full mana. They're pinging top.
Ooh,
Possibly looking for
Kunkka
another
got
kill.
the dream jungle item.
What's he got? Ooh, Desmond Blood Right.
Yeah, the blood right. 12% larger AoEs. Quite a
make
good
tidal
hero
wave
to have
wider?
AoE increase. Yeah, it makes everything larger.
Nice.
Takes me back to the Octarine Water Park build where like no one got to play the game because it covered like 2.5 screens worth of AoE.
I like that build. That's so funny.
It was definitely a time to play though. Ancient Apparition experiencing their first nullifier reveal there. And they do get their hands onto the Storm. He might need a BKB. He will do exactly that. Trying to force the BKB now out of the Death Prophet, and he will get it. So it is at least a trade there. But a pretty nice find there from the Storm Spirit. Again, taking this Ancient Apparition out of the game.
Des and Blood Right on the Clockwork as well. These rocket flares are actually going to be really, really big to help you find the back line. If you can do that, since the last 10 minutes, it's ALLSTARS just picking off heroes left and right, taking whatever fights they want. You feel like you've got the tools to be finding this stuff, but it's not really happening for them.
I don't know how they can win fights late game, I'll be honest. Like, the only way it happens is if you somehow find and kill the Oracle on Tiny, like with a Shadow Blade, without having to commit too much. He can just, like, if you can one-shot the Oracle, that's, like, the best-case scenario. And then you have to, like, isolate Kunkka inside of the arena and kill him with Exorcism. Like, that's how you have to start. Okay, that's literally one of the options. They've got the Kunkka. He's dead. The second arena comes out as well. Yule's holding down the Ursa. Ice Blast will connect onto the Tusk, but they've lost the Death Prophet. The Ursa and this Storm Spirit are so dang strong. He's going to try and turn around. Is in rage to try and get out, but stuck inside the cogs. Benjamin's going to clean up another kill here onto the Mars. Well, they did pretty much exactly what I thought they needed to do. They didn't get the Oracle, but they were able to isolate heroes away from it. That's one of the reasons the Mars is a pretty good pick into this.
Kunkka is so tanky passively, though, that even though he spent most of that time chain stunned, just taking a beating, it took so long. You had to commit the refresher to stun him again with a second arena, and I'm not sure why they didn't commit Exorcism sooner, because it might have let you finish that kill faster. But because they didn't, they just spent so long on Kunkka that eventually everyone else shows up and all the team fight abilities are down, that you just easily, you take out the Death Prophet who just used Exorcism, and then there's nothing left on any other hero. So you lose Kunkka and Tusk, but I mean, for Mars and Death Prophet, I'd say it's pretty worth it, especially as Roshan could respawn at any moment. There's no way for Sustancia X to contest this if it was a fast spawn. Though fortunately for them, it's going to be long enough that I think they will get a chance to fight one more time.
I can't agree with this Moon Shard pickup on the Storm Spirit. Like, this could just be a completed Scythe right now. But instead he has Moon Shard, and it is so weird.
I think a Scythe probably would have been better, like you said. And I actually think that is how Sustancia X could maybe come back. I think you need to get some Scythes. You just don't have enough lockdown outside of having to commit Refresher, which is a big commitment. I think you need Hexes to chain those with Spear and find pickoffs.
I mean, that's the late game Mars build always, right? That eventual like refresher with a Scythe. This Roche is falling very quickly. Ice Blast, it's gonna, the arena completely whipped, but they get the chain stun on Ursa. He's gonna be able to BKB. Is the damage there to save him? It is from the Oracle. Dynamo now gets to go to town, takes down the Tiny, gets the Clockwork. Is the heals enough? Just barely, but Dynamo, does he survive this one? He gets quite a bit of damage off at the end of this.
Buyback, actually.
3 buybacks now out from Sustancia. Baker trying to get away from this one with the Storm Spirit, just doing so much work. A Torrent on the mark. Vortex pulls him back into flares. Is it enough? It's not. An ultra kill for the Storm. Give him the Rampage. Absolutely. You cannot stop this man. 5 buybacks, 4 buybacks, I think, from Sustancia to continue to fight. He gets a double Rampage with the Ice Blast to execute the Storm Spirit finally, but do they get away here? The Tiny
he wants one more.
They're still alive, but yeah, Storm Spirit, he respawned, or rather bought back into this game. He is looking for somebody.
Okay, as Ursa died with no buyback, because he's been having such a good game, he didn't think he needed to save it. I thought there was a window for Sustancia as they committed their own buybacks to win this fight and get Roche and go for a big turnaround of their own, but they didn't actually have a way to rejoin the fight, so it took so long for them to run back in that ALLSTARS does finish up the Death Prophet, and by that point you don't actually have a numbers advantage despite committing the buybacks. So they still get Roche, a little bit of a hiccup, and you are gonna have to be careful since Storm did buy back, but I'd say you're still in a pretty good spot. You still have this 23k gold lead. You got all the
Aegis
goodies
now
from Roche.
Like having Aegis and going in, like about to have a Scythe completed is massive. The buyback, it was 5 spent on Sustancia for just the 1 in the Storm Spirit, which you're pretty okay with. Like Storm Spirit had the extra money to afford a buyback. Still has 24 galvanized charges despite dying.
That's actually kind of crazy. Yeah. How can you have this many charges?
Fortune's End constantly dispels. I did not know that was a talent. What in the world? What's the other
one? I don't
one?
even know how
False
that
Promise
works.
duration?
Does that work defensively for the duration? I
Yeah.
rarely see Oracles level 25.
I think it does, but I feel like False Promise duration is pretty good against Ancient Apparition, but Constant Dispel. I mean, it's Demonic Purge, I guess, but
a soft basic dispel. But that's still good for Yule Scepter, and I believe it would even work on Aeon, wouldn't it?
well, Fortune's End is dispellable, so I think Yule Scepter will dispel the debuff.
But if you
Like
apply
it's kind of
it
like
after,
a which came first. Yeah, like if it comes after, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. That's a weird one. I feel like that extra second and a half, like Ursa in that last fight, when he died, I feel like he might have lived with 1.5 seconds of False Promise still.
All right, I'll check that later. I actually don't know how that mechanic works.
Immediate ward placed on the high ground. It is spotted. And as a result, Sustancia is not going to put themselves in vision here of this ward. Tiny is going to walk up, take it down. Okay.
They got 2 banners now. Drop to break one of these high grounds. See which one they want to commit to. They're pushing both in. Being a little careful about this.
Right? Like,
I
you have
think
Siphon,
so.
Storm Spirit. Like, you got to go high ground and end this. Like, Storm Spirit sees a hero, they will die to a Scythe. There is no reason to hold out. There's 0 buybacks available for another 3.5, 4 minutes. There is
Using
no
Rocket
reason
Flare
to
to try
hold
to
back
cut these
anymore.
creeps.
Yeah, Clockwork's been doing that for a while. I will give him credit. He's done a really good job at trying to cut the creep waves.
It is going to drop in the end, though. Level 30 Storm hitting your barracks. What are you going to do about this?
Ooh, trying to find that Ancient Apparition, but I'll survive for now.
That's it.
One lane down, 1 minute left on this Aegis. Goes right on to the banner here, which will keep this creep wave alive. As he dives in for more, tries to get some vision. They know the Mars is on the right side, but Storm Spirit just feels so untouchable on the high ground.
There's one thing you can play for, and that is as this Aegis expires, there is a window where this is no buyback on Storm. You have to jump at that time, somehow kill the Storm without him being saved by Oracle and Tusk, and just find a series of fights in a row to win the game. That's your one window here, and what they're trying to patiently wait for, but they clear up the racks and just make a clean escape on the side of ALLSTARS. With elimination being at risk, the safest play would just be to wait till buyback is up and you get the next Roche. You have a big enough lead. I don't think you have to do that, but if they wanted to play it ultra safe, I think that's what you do, and there's no way to lose if you do that.
Storm Spirit gets himself the Ag Synth as well after his Aegis expires, so he will swap he gets an Arcane Rune, he can swap his Moon Shard back in at some point here. We'll pop the
Save
Arcane,
a little
now
money
has a
for the
bottle
rest
regen.
of us.
Okay.
He's so rich.
Yeah, 36,000 net worth on this hero. Come on. Tusk goes in, gets the kickback onto the Mars. Does have a Yules to buy him some space, but there he is on the backside. Storm Spirit trying to just find an opening. Does manage to get the arena off, though. He has a second. Ice Blast will pull them back. The BKBs will protect it. Dynamo, he's already got the false promise on top of him. Tuska going back in, but here comes Benjamin on the Storm, just deleting Baker. His BKB is not soon enough. Nullified up on the Mars, trying to get some help to Burrow with a nice double toss, but kicked back from the Tiny. And now BBQ trying to hide his way inside the shards, but he's just gonna take out. The damage is enough. You get yourself a kill onto the Ursa. But all 5 members of Sustancia are dead, and that will be the GG. Game 1 off of a great comeback will go the way of ALLSTARS. Pressing Firefly takes 30% of your max HP. So it is one of those abilities you need to be very careful about using, because yes, you're going to do more damage to the enemy team, but you also do a ridiculous amount of damage to yourself. So we'll see how this goes as we jump into game number 2 here. Sustancia versus ALLSTARS. Currently 1-0 for the ALLSTARS lineup. It's a great comeback in game number 1.
I will say, I tried a little bit with I played around a little bit with the stoked facet. Although it sounds like a lot of burn damage, and it kind of is, it also isn't, since there are reductions and you have HP regen. So the early levels, it's kind of tricky, but once you're high enough level, like, it's not too bad. And I think it's better than trying to build up Arsonist stacks and then, like, Naga could just remove them. And you know there's going to be a Manta on the Terrorblade too.
That's a big root up stack into a huge dual breath.
Who's gonna die first?
It's going to go to BBQ. The Brewmaster, he's in trouble. He'll burn down, but now you're in real deep against this Bat Rider who's just stacking up the napalms. Beautiful Sprout there, and another kill for the side of Sustancia. This one for Faker in the mid lane.
All right, so part of the strength of the Bat Rider pick is that you are playing into the Storm, so you should have a good time there. And Bat Rider is going to come off of this with a kill and an assist, though the first blood did go to the Natures, so not as bad as it could have been. But Storm will have a tough time to start. And we saw that matter in the last game, right? The first 30 minutes were very difficult for Storm. He just had a great comeback later. But the early game, Sustancia X, they were successful in shutting him down and preventing him from really getting much done. It seems like that's their game plan going into game number 2 as well.
This Storm needs to be very careful, because Bat Rider, once he has level 2,
he's going for it.
You can just kill the Storm. So he's not going to dive him here, but he will get a lot of damage ticked in. Does have Fairy Fire and a wand still, but this does not really get easier. That's an unfortunate high ground miss there for Benjamin.
At the least, because that first that first fight, Batrider actually did use a ton of mana, so it doesn't have as much available to shut out the storm. Like, for example, if he had enough mana there, this is actually a dead storm, because Flame Break would come out and kill him.
Yeah. And he is rushing boots, knowing that he cannot play this lane without it, so heads up play there. Normally, a lot of Storm Spirits are just going to rush the bottle, but Faker, hold up. That's a lot of damage from the tower.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what I expected out of the safe lane duo of Terrorblade, Naga Siren, Deluge into the meta Reflection is a lot of damage. Yeah, I feel like Faker has lost his advantage in this lane. He will still be able to push the lane quite well, but a little bit of
Magic damage comes into play. Terrorblade so slow like this. Can't get away.
Good body
still
blocks
on
in from the
cooldown,
Naga Siren,
though.
but yeah, not enough.
Old Jakiro might have been able to do that. They did nerf Liquid Frost enough that nowadays you pretty much just use Liquid Fire level 1. But the old damage might have killed the Terrorblade there. The thing is, the magic damage ramps up faster than Terrorblade's health pool does. So level 2 was very close, but I think as you get to like level 3, level 4, if you want to commit to that, I think Brewmaster and Jakiro can kill the Terrorblade, at least for a while.
Oh, the bait mid lane, Storm Spirit. It'll be okay as the Sprout off the mark, and well, he's gonna be just fine. That's a rotation to the mid lane from the Nature's Prophet. Doesn't really net them anything, and he's gonna have to make the slow walk back bottom.
TA is doing okay right now. As you get more levels of Fire Spirit, though, that ability is so oppressive in the early game. The attack slow is ridiculous, and TA is going to have a very hard time laning there as soon as Phoenix hits level 5. Doesn't have a hard time now.
Vortex.
Lane.
This is going to be very close. The Remnant's not going to connect, but down to 30 HP. Storm Spirit's getting the better of these trades. Top lane, Pamplona dead, or Pamplona getting a kill, taking down the Naga Siren. So they will just chase him off the lane. Oh, Nature's Prophet's coming back. Another bait here, potentially. Storm Spirit. He's got 12 wand charges to play around. Batrider actually needs to be careful.
You aren't?
Are scanning.
I don't think you're getting this kill, but he might. Oh, wait, Sprout.
Oh, he got the stack reset. He's stuck inside the
I think he's
freeze
dead,
for
though.
now. Goes for the Vortex. They get the kill, finally. Okay.
By the way, for anyone watching, in case you missed it, this isn't like 10 stacks of old. It now goes up to 20 stacks, and each stack is half the value it used to be before. So that's like a 5 stack in the past. But still, that's where it does get scary. Jakiro trying to run down this Terrorblade. Terrorblade does have the boots already, though, so he's going to be okay. But not getting as much farm as he would like every time he has to step away. Doing okay still, but you are slowing him down. Unless
Gonna
he
be the
kills you.
pullback. The Deluge. Miss, 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 miss. Miss, miss. He's good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these types of plays just don't work on the Brewmaster. He has got so much evasion, and now, well, your Terrorblade's the one that's in a little bit of a scary spot. Coming up on the high ground, or the top side here will be the Nature's Prophet. Sprout connects, and he will just burn. And they lose the Naga Siren as well. She was chasing for Pamplona. Okay. They are going
Trace
to
the
learn
bottom
very
lane.
fast here that they can't do that. Lasso bottoms will just pull the Phoenix right into the tower and give a kill over to the Templar Assassin. These lanes are going really well for Sustancia once again.
Yeah, that's a huge series of plays. The teleport up.
Dire are scanning.
I mean, how often do you see a team choose to fight into meta, right? You almost always just get away, but that's what the Brewmaster gives you, is his massive amount of evasion when he Cinder Brews himself, and that's all the damage the Terrorblade brings with the Metamorphosis.
Sentry. Tiburon's just like, surely they won't drop another one, right? Nice
It is a
kill
little
from the two
costly to
supports
do,
here.
but worth
Yeah.
it, I would say.
I'll trade 500 gold for a Sentry. And, you know, the experience. Mid lane here, Pamplona going for a D-ward mission, gets punished.
You had your warning.
Storm, I'm surprised not drop. Okay, there's been 2 wards placed from Sustancia that were definitely within vision of ALLSTARS. I just don't think they saw it. Like the one behind the tier 1 top, the Nagasarn was like chasing the Jakiro and he like 180s quickly to drop a ward and they don't D-ward it. And then now this mid one, it's like they're just not confident enough. Oh my goodness, so close on taking this shrine.
That's really nice.
I was gonna say,
timing,
wait a
too.
minute, does he have to leave? I feel like the Nature's Prophet is stronger. He has a red.
Wait a
Are
second.
you kidding
No
me?
way.
Are you kidding me?
Do it again, BBQ.
He just solos the mid laner. I was confused. I was like, he's TPing out, but like, he has Urn, and the Storm spent all of his mana. Dude.
I mean, this is Nature's got the first blood, so he's actually
You're
quite strong. Like, look at the net worth.
with a
Some of that
charming
is because he just got the kill, but he's actually not that far behind the Storm. Usually, Storm is like, yeah, I kill any support, right? Like, easily my shrine. Actually, it's killed by Nature's, who's now going to come try to save his TA.
Ooh, that's a really good egg, but do they have the attack speed? Faker will commit to it, gets the kill, and now gonna chase down for another.
Dude, Nature's Prophet is going to do work this game.
Yeah,
He's going to get the Spirit Vessel, going to get the Shard. There's going to be so much damage versus Terrorblade, who eventually will get a Manta and remove all of that, but at this rate, the Spirit Vessel's is done it by like 10 minutes. It's such a good Spirit Vessel timing.
Yeah, he's like 15 minutes away from a Manta right now.
And then Radiance, like, you can't dispel that. And Brewmaster, you usually save for the Sacred Relic, but in a case like this where the only pressure they have on you is right-click damage, goes for the Talisman of Evasion, and he can now be left up here completely alone, and he'd be fine. So you can make these response plays. Eventually you want to come back up here because you do want to help him take that tower, but you don't feel bad about having to rotate out at any moment.
Yeah, this Nature's Prophet will have that Vessel before the offlane Phoenix, it seems, right? Ooh, Pamplona going a little bit too far, gets scouted out. Bottom lane, both teams gearing up for a fight. As who's it gonna be? Nature's Prophet on the backside, gets caught, a nice shackle here onto the Templar Assassin as well. He does throw the Wrath of Nature, doing some decent damage, but Templar Assassin is in so deep, but here comes the Brewmaster. That TP out, absolutely not gonna happen. BSK here on the Phoenix. No egg for 7, walks into another trap, and the Brew will get himself a double kill. Shackles on the other side as Jakiro will be able to chase down the Shadow Shaman.
Under attack.
Shadow Shaman, no land, get out of here. I think it would have been better to die to Jakiro, actually. Because even though you lose TA, I actually think the biggest power spike coming on for Sustancia X is the Radiance timing of the Brewmaster.
Oh no. Oh no. Mid lane, Storm Spirit goes down here now. He might be able to get Faker. He can Firefly up the wall, and that's exactly what he will do. And he will just run away. Beyond haste, he'll be just fine. The early boots of travel already kind of working out here for the Bat Rider. He also went the Chalice as well. This guy's zooming.
Things are looking pretty good for Sustancia X so far, though if I learned anything from Game 1, perhaps this is exactly the position ALLSTARS wants to be in.
I've seen this before. These two heroes going head to head. He trying to make it up to his high ground, get away from the storm. In comes the Jakiro. He's gonna have the damage, but is he gonna pay for this one? Blood Grenade is out. The chase here. He does have a little bit of mana left in the tank, but you need to dodge the dual breath. Pamplona does not have the mana, just now comes off cooldown, so Storm Spirit will survive. Good play from him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That Rider, suspecting he might go for the bounty rune if it's still up. He's rushing in here. Not gonna find him though. And the illusions scout him out anyway, so everyone else getting out of here. Top tower secured by Brewmaster in this time. This Radiance is almost done. He's 400 gold away.
Dire's middle tower
Features, I believe, should have been scouted while placing this deep ward. I'm gonna lose it right away. Feels a little bad.
Nice grab here in the bottom lane. Once again, the egg with the Shadow Shaman. It's a lot of damage, but will they be able to finish the job? It looks like they will. There is enough damage coming in from that Phoenix
Sprout
to do it.
heal?
Oh, dude, that Sprout heal actually almost did it. Now BSK on the high ground. He does have another Fire Spirit to play with. Does get the damage onto Bambolona, and it will burn him down as well. So a 2 for 2 and a big rotation in. I think pretty good for All-Stars, but your Radiance is now done for this Brewmaster.
He's gotta be careful with his courier pathing. He just walking by Storm. Okay. If you lose the Radiance there, the whole strength of the early timing is gone by the time it respawns. Brewmaster, I don't think you can deal with Brewmaster. Once this Radiance actually gets delivered, I think you have to avoid wherever Brewmaster is. So, I want to see the last tier 1 taken by Brew. It should just be something he can solo. And then just camp somewhere. Probably top half of the map makes... It doesn't matter that much. Just camp somewhere and just keep stealing farm from the enemy team. Because no one can deal with him. Terribly that. Yasha's done being delivered right now. Still have about 3 to 5 minutes, I'd say, depending how much you put pressure on him before that Manta's done. Still do all that magic damage. And they're going to try to do exactly that. Smoke over. Get another kill in, slow down this Manta.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Here we go.
I mean, he has
Where is
Sunder,
it?
but
Oh, there it is.
doesn't get a chance to use it. Oh, no.
Man,
Yeah,
that's
they're at
hitting
the
a
nature
million
pops
things.
him. Yeah. Dude, there's so many debuffs, right? Like, how does he actually get away from this? Storm Spirit, amplify damage, will find Faker. That is a lot of damage. There's the lasso, and I think with this, he will be able to chase him down.
Miss?
Find the kill. High ground miss. Not this time.
Missed, he might have actually gotten away. Would have been close.
Goes, top side.
You don't be here, Shadow Shaman.
That is a good macro buyer. Now, Pamplona, he's going to die for this. He's stuck. Terrorblade will finish up the kill. Song of the Siren does come out. You do have the egg and no brew split. I think you might be able to do this. He's going to try and brew himself up, run away here under this storm. Dude, there's no way. He's actually just out.
I'm telling
They
you.
don't have the damage.
It's so hard to deal with him. Phoenix does a lot of damage. I think the Veil just got delivered. If they had the Veil, they get that Brewmaster kill. This is where all the little assets matter, right? That Veil arriving 10 seconds faster makes the difference.
Or just having a single stun. That's not just like Shadow Shaman is all of your control. Like you have Ensnare, I guess, and Vortex, but I don't think Ensnare was up.
Oh, that one goes back to the draft. Can't fix that now.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh, got him anyways.
That's the blink reveal from Faker. He gets some revenge from the bottom lane. He will immediately smoke up and look to find another target. Phoenix would be pretty huge. There's going to be the blink. The lasso comes out, pulls it right back towards the team. The ice path on the money. He does get the egg off, but Twin Terror is pretty good. They just need to turn
If
and
they
hit
do
this.
it.
They don't attack the egg. Baker's going to die instead. You're kidding me. 3v1 with a Twin Terror Jakiro, and they don't hit the egg.
I don't know
There's
if
no
a
way.
misclick or what happened there, but yeah, that is supposed to be a dead Phoenix and a Bat Rider who just gets to farm on his way back to heal. BBQ at least finds a solo kill on the Naga in that time, and he is popping off. This is position 5 support, a reminder. Currently, only 1,000 gold behind his mid Bat Rider.
That's nuts. Yeah, that is wild. There's definitely some communication issues there. I mean, maybe the Phoenix gets very lucky and gets like 8 evasion procs there or something, but I think 3 heroes hitting the egg with the Jakiro double striking, your chances are very high.
I mean, they were down to 1 attack. If Jakiro had stayed a little longer before, like he ran away and then came back, it would have been a kill.
The Bat Rider was the one who just like bailed it right away too. I think he just needed to commit. But yeah, really unlucky bottom lane here. Benjamin, lasso comes out, Held Strike. They're gonna try and finish the job, but the Flame Break doesn't connect. Neither does the Nature's Prophet spells. He will build a TP out.
I was hoping
I'm assuming
Storm
Nature's
would
Prophet
just...
didn't have TP.
Yeah, I imagine so. Or they thought they could kill the Storm, which is kind of fair, like mid Bat Rider and carry TA with a Deso. You'd think that would be enough.
Dead, even game, Hog. That's interesting. I do feel like in draft we were talking about how All-Stars have a lot of really good things going for them in the late game again. And I do kind of agree that this lead from Sustancia, it's pretty good. But Dynamo is gonna become a very strong Terrorblade at any point.
Shadow Shaman killed right at the edge of his tower. Terrorblade farming, watching. Thank you for making space, Shadow Shaman. They might be looking to take this tower and invade for the 21-minute Wisdom Shrine. Also helps set up for Roche later. You have a TA with a Desolator and a Brewmaster's tank with infinite evasion. It is doable. But like you said, All-Stars has 2 illusion heroes. Very good at dragging the game out in the late game. And although Brewmaster is very annoying right now, especially once he has the Manta online. Oh, he actually got Boots of Travel first. But when he does get the Manta, right, he'll be cutting waves with the illusions, getting a ton of farm. Eventually, Terrorblade and Naga will do the same thing. And they got 2 of those heroes.
I think, like, the only reason this game is as close as it is right now is this Nature's Prophet having so much net worth and farm. 999 gonna get found here as well, as the Nature's Prophet will come to collect another Spirit Vessel charge. He's on his way to an Orchid, which is gonna do some pretty big stuff this game. Pamplona gonna burn here. Again, I feel like we've seen him just make these solo excursions for deep warding. He does get a ward down, but dies in the process.
Yeah,
Probably
I
trying to
think
figure out where the ward might be.
the time to ward is a little off. And even if Sustancia X ends up winning this game, I will say that is part of why it's somewhat close right now, is that they do split up a lot on Sustancia X. They need to be a little bit better about playing together when moving aggressively and place the wards at that time, and not give up his kills. For now, it's a smoke play.
This is a really big fight. There's your lasso. They're coming in. Egg is available. Benjamin, he's going to survive. The egg is down. They just take down Faker. I'm telling you, man, that...
It's somewhat close right now, is that they do split up a lot on Sustancia X. They need to be a little bit better about playing together when moving aggressively and place the wards at that time, you know, and not give up the kills. For now, it's a smoke play.
This is a really big fight. There's your lasso. They're coming in. Egg is available. Benjamin, he's going to survive. The egg is down. They just take down Faker. I'm telling you, man, that self-burn is substantial. Egg's going to pop, actually keep Benjamin alive as it catches the TA on the stun, and now the Sunray is going to burn her alive. This is a 4-for-0 All-Stars. Get a massive win in front of the Tormentor. And I think the Terrorblade and friends should be able to finish that as well.
Absolutely. This is a free Tormentor. I mean, it is some of the stoke damage burning himself, but they also overlap the stun in Lasso. Should have been a... I think this should be a clean Storm kill. I'm going to guess they didn't expect so many heroes to be here because you didn't even have Brewmaster ult here. I think they were just hoping for a quick Batrider pick off with the Lasso, get that used. You see Benjamin barely getting out of there. Just
that Phoenix egg.
A little bit more damage would have finished that off. Instead, pretty much a team wipe.
The fact that he goes in and collects that little bit of that last little galvanized stack from the TA as well, right? Pretty big. He's up to 7 now.
Min-max.
Yeah, I mean, every little bit helps. The shard goes the way of the Shadow Shaman, one of the more annoying shards to deal with. Just allowing him to be able to use spells and has the extra chicken, so it might keep him alive randomly in one of these fights. I was trying to see how much self-damage the Batrider did. It really just felt like he went in, he blanked with no exit plan, and Terrorblade just instantly killed him, is pretty much what happened.
In that last fight, he did, I think, 222 damage to himself.
Okay. That's not too much, but...
He also died pretty quickly upon activating it, so it didn't even get to burn himself that long. Remaster was unkillable before, but with so much magic now.
That is a lot. And Wrath of Nature, I mean, does some work here. A lot of magic damage here from the Nature's Prophet, but the egg just dropped on their head as well. This Firefly trying to get away, but Benjamin pulls it back in, gets the kill. Now Jakiro will be next. 4-for-0 again. Sustancia, they are an early game team, but not the strong finishers here as ALLSTARS 2 times in a row pull back. Are just absolutely dominating now. Benjamin's gonna be able to find themselves. This TA here on the bottom side, and I don't think he's stopping anytime soon. Trying to just commit for the kill.
Out of mana, though, actually.
Completely has a Manta, but now he's silenced up. He will die, sticking around a little bit too long. That is 1,000 gold into the hands of the TA.
I think a little bit too excited there on that. Some inefficient zips, but could have also just called it at any point and gotten out. Orchid finally finished up, is going to get a quick Naga kill here. And that's another thing I think they could have waited for prior to the series of events that has now led to a 5K lead to ALLSTARS. Sustancia X was in a good spot. The Orchid on Natures was going to be huge, right? I think you're just going to wait for this stuff. Brewmaster, really strong, runs in, pop your ult if you have it. But they took the fights a little too soon, and because of that, it's ALLSTARS now in the lead. All that magic damage coming in. Don't even get to use the brew ult this time.
The Nature's Prophet's magic damage in some of these fights between the Wrath of Nature, Curse of the Old Growth, and Vessel, like, it's almost killing multiple heroes. Like, all of the damage that was done in this fight against the ALLSTARS lineup is actually
feeling that one.
Not again, guys. Storm Spirit really hurting his own game with that Death Bottom. Ends up dropping, losing a lot of Galvanized stacks.
Yeah, it is scary to give that kind of gold to a Templar Assassin as well. Since even though ALLSTARS did start to take a gold lead, TA is one of those heroes who she can snowball a lot of momentum back. You know, you take one bad fight yourself, suddenly a couple of your towers are down, maybe it's Roshan, right? She picks up another item, deletes another hero with that, keeps that going. This is a scary hero. There's a reason why it's typically banned or picked in the first phase, even after all the nerfs somehow. Just does not seem to stop.
The magic damage from both teams is actually so high. I didn't realize it, but it was I thought it was an illusion rune storm. He went for Manta. Now he's going Sanj and Yasha, I believe. No, he's going Sanj
and
Kaya.
Kaya.
My bad. Yeah, Sanj Kaya.
But you
after
will
the
have all
Manta.
three with the Manta.
Yeah. Looking for that late game Trident.
I mean, it's a great game to have dispels. You have the Jakira's abilities that you can remove, the Orchid, and all the damage from natures is based off of damage over time stuff like the Curse of the Old Grove and Spirit Vessel. So you can remove a lot of that. You can also, you can't like dodge
The TA
lasso.
trap too.
Yeah, the TA traps. Lasso comes in if you Yules, because Yules is the more normal hit spell. You would Yules yourself and then just drop down into all of that stuff. The Manta might actually buy you enough time where you lasso the wrong thing, or you're just trying to figure out which is the real one, and in that time he's already zipped away. So it's kind of a cool idea. Maybe he also had a lot of fun with that Moon Shard in the last game. It just wants even more attack speed, but earlier this time.
Have we looked at the Batrider's net worth in quite a while? Like, because he's about to get passed by both of the supports. The Nation Prophet with the Greedy. Oh, they will get the lasso here onto the Nagasar, and the mech will keep him alive for now. They need to finish this kill. They get him. But the egg is down. Time to disengage. Run the other way. A great Orchid comes through. They do get a lot of control here on the Benjamin, but it's not enough. Silence will stop the shackles. His BBQ will turn this one back around. Sustancia finally getting a fight going their way, but they have enough to finish the job. Dynamo, he's low. Healed up here from the Phoenix.
Sunder, if you don't finish this.
He needs a little bit of help. They're not going to get it. And now the Sunder onto the Brew. The turnaround. Oh, no. He's going to be able to get away. The BKB out here from the TA. The Store Spirit's out of resources. He's going to disengage. And now the Brew with this extra move speed will be able to chase down. They do finish the job. Okay. Great fight there from Sustancia, finding that Naga Siren at the beginning.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That
Radiant are scanning.
they're not going to. I think they should go to Roche after that. They should steal that away. It's already weakened from the Terrorblade, and you have a Templar Assassin. Yeah, maybe feeling on the back foot based on how the last few minutes have been going, but I think that's an objective you needed to steal now while you have the chance to capitalize on what was a really good fight. Storm, very aggressive zip here, trying to find Faker one more time.
I mean, he's going to get him.
Get out of this now. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's the lasso on the Manta, but it doesn't matter in the end.
Song of the Siren, actually. He was trying to close up the gap there and find the save, but now 999 is going to die from this as well. Just the magic burn is way too much from these two heroes. So that is a really deep dive, and now you can absolutely go Roshan. No Song of the Siren to reset this. Storm Spirit's dead for a full minute. We are back in the lead here for Sustancia X.
That's a second death from Storm. That's pretty unnecessary. The first one in the bottom lane versus the TA. Now a second time diving to tier 3 to get Faker on the Batrider. You don't need to do that. You know, just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Overestimating his own damage. But it's very costly. This time, the Roche now going over to TA, and you had the lead. You had the position to take Roche yourself, and now you've given it away from those kind of overplays.
I mean, this guy had 17 galvanized stacks. He's down to 11 now. Like, that's a big problem. Like, those stacks are really useful and very necessary as you want to play into the late game. Orchid. Here Iron of the Deeply, no Manta, into the lasso. Is the magic damage enough? They hold him inside the Sprout. He gets the Sunder off, but he is still very much alone, and this will be another kill for the side of Sustancia.
He's gonna be more careful.
He's so deep. I don't know where, like, did he come through Twin Gate or something, was trying to split push? I'm guessing that's what happened.
He might have just been pushing up because Storm died and it's like, okay, Storm died top, they're doing Roche, I gotta go do something bottom, but doesn't get out fast enough. I mean, we've seen both teams be able to take very good fights when you are the one that starts them, and you, even if you don't strictly have the numbers advantage, but you just take out a key hero with either Hex Shackle or the Lasso, right? Those are the types of fights you want. But both teams not quite sticking together enough to prevent the enemy from finding those fights. You know, it's like you find your good fights and you split up, and then they find their fights, and then they split up. It's been going back and forth a little here.
Yeah. I will say the fact that ALLSTARS had like an almost 8,000 gold lead, and it is now 3,000 for Sustancia, when they were definitely in the driver's seat. Like, they had all the items, the team fight ability to take this, and it's really just been them maybe overcommitting a couple extra times. Song of the Siren is out. This will be their ability to isolate the TH. He's going to Hurricane Pike for now, maybe finding more that can get in their hands. Onto that Batrider, and Faker is going to be forced to BKB himself. The ethereal form on the Jakiro as he dies. There's going to be the ensnare. Faker's just running for his life, but gets no chance of escaping it. He popped that BKB so long ago. No way to escape. 3 heroes dead. That's going to be the Aegis. The question, do they even contest? Absolutely not.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. Why are they going for a mid play when Nature's didn't have teleport and Brewmaster ult was 10 seconds from being up? They've actually lost their high ground off of that mistake.
Yeah.
They don't. I don't know if they know TA doesn't have buyback, but you could potentially. Wait, how long is on meta? A quarter duration. With this?
It's still got time. He gets the full lane.
Yeah, I was debating if you could even end the game if you knew she had no buyback, or like you just wanted to force the buyback early, but. They'll play it safe and just take the mid bear.
Yeah,
right, that's a massive mistake.
So. Yeah. Well, again, I do feel like ALLSTARS lineup is always going to outscale Sustancia's, and it was a couple of their own mistakes that put them on the back foot, giving that Roshan over to Sustancia. A little bit of over-aggressive plays from the Storm Spirit, but this is a scenario where, like, the pendulum just kind of swings. They did manage to punish a mistake there from Sustancia X, and now they're back into the driver's seat. Full lane of barracks taken, and with a better draft, I think they're in a really good position. The Batrider has no scaling. He is essentially a support. You are all in on your Nature's Prophet being your other core here, which, I mean, he's very farmed, but Faker, we're just going to see him pop the BKB here, try and find... That's a Sight of Vice? Is that what I just saw?
Yeah, Nature has a sight. Here's the thing.
Okay.
If this was Arsonist Batrider, I'd say this is an issue that he's this poor. But Batrider support is actually perfectly normal, and mid-Nature's, though uncommon now, is also fine. You know,
so the Brewmaster, that's a BKB on the Shadows. I don't know what he shackled. I think he shackled a Manta, maybe. They're on the Storm Spirit. Lasso is out. The heal's coming in from the Phoenix. He gets the jump away for now. The Phoenix will drop the egg. Do they get the kill in time? The Hex comes in. It's not enough. It's so close to bail him out. Very good fight here from Sustancia as they're going to chase for more. Prophet's coming in. Gets the trap, the Orchid. And with this, potentially another kill onto this Terrorblade.
Now it's Naga's turn. Okay, now you've wiped in front of their base. The creep wave is in bottom. You get this tier 2 and you can get the bottom racks. This is real back and forth, man. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't think this Fortify is enough to kill off all the creeps, though this is actually the first tier 2, so they'll have another Fortify. They might actually not lose their tier 3 because of that. It's gonna be kind of close. And depends if they're willing to buy back at all, which I don't think you should, so I guess it is just Oh, they're actually still
Dude,
gonna
this
fortify.
greedy enchantment on Nature's Prophet has paid so many dividends at this point. It's insane.
Time to get something else, though. It's time to scale. Don't reduce your own attack damage, you know? He got a full BKB on the Natures. Okay, so that was my point I was going to finish at the beginning of that fight. He's going to sprout himself for damage, and he can't see the creeps. You have a mid-Natures and a 4 Bat Rider this game. They need to play that way. You can't try to have the Bat Rider continue to be a mid and Nature's be like, oh, I should do support things. Like, just swap. Just swap at this point. I don't know if they can see the goal difference, but like, there's no... Bat Rider ain't recovering to be a mid hero again this time. Just let Nature's be a mid hero at this point. Which is actually something I thought they might do. I thought Bat Rider Brewmaster was a classic lane. I was like, maybe you do that and you actually have a mid Nature's who TPs to join different things.
Yeah, I mean, this Bat Rider is nothing more than a Blink Lasso, and he's like a tanky hero in these fights. Like, he's hard to catch. He's slippery with the stoked Firefly running. Like, he's very fast. So he's not the easiest hero to grab, and you leave this Nature's Prophet alone. I mean, he's about to have a Bloodthorn done as well. Like, he is absurdly farmed. Yeah, he's scaling now. He's scaling. Look at the new Alert Crippling Crossbow. Tons of attack speed,
100 attack range. This is what I'm talking about. Crippling Crossbow is also very good versus the Phoenix. And the Naga Song has the max HP regen. She even has Guardian Greaves, so it's a really good item.
Radiant.
This game, it's been very back and forth. I think in this type of game, clearing up tier 2s is really important because we've seen you don't know when you're going to win a huge team fight, but you know it's likely to happen based on the back and forth nature of the game. And when you do win that tier 2 team, when you do win that big team fight, you don't want the tier 2s to stop you from getting megas. So clear them out, and then hope that you can organize a winning team fight rather than have to wait on luck to do it. But if it does happen by luck, at least be able to capitalize on it when it does happen.
I think with next Roche coming up, Sustancia knows exactly when it's going to spawn, right? That's one of the benefits of the TA. It's one of the reasons we've also seen her become a lot more popular of a pick, because Roshan is super important now. I have to imagine this next Roche is like pretty much what ends the game. Whichever team has Aegis, like we've seen in these fights, like that's gonna break one of these teams. Jump it, mid lane. BKB into the Hex. They will grab themselves a kill onto this Jakiro. BKB out from Nature's Prophet, trying to TP the damage. Oh boy, that is a lot. The Terrorblade takes him down. They find Faker, will force his BKB, and Roche just respawned. The team that has the knowledge of the Roche respawn just lost 2. If this is scouted, hold up. Looking for Tamuron. Jump in.
You kill TA, you
Hold him
win
back
the
in
game.
with the Voltex. That is a BKB out. The egg is
dead.
out. The damage is done. 100 seconds. No buyback. I think you're right. I think this game is just over. The egg will expire. They dive in, try to finish off Faker. 70 seconds sideline as they just drop one by one in their own base. There's nothing left. You have a full duration. You have like.
You have no duration on
everything.
meta, but you have Demon Zeal. Full duration Demon Zeal.
Full duration Demon Zeal. Your lasso spent. Watch it. The game just fell out of control.
Unless we walk into the fountain. Okay, mid-nature's buyback. Let's see it. 5v1. Storm's entering the fountain.
Shadow Shaman MVP, I guess. Like, they did it. ALLSTARS walk away with the victory here. 2-0 over Sustancia, knocking them out of the qualifiers.
Well done in a chaotic series to capitalize on the fights to win.